For sure, I think this year has been really good for me to put things into perspective and show me what's important, and then also just I don't think you ever have it exactly right how to use your platform, but you're always learning how to use it better and better, and I think I've done that for sure.
Trevor, I apologize if you've been asked this before, but you guys are the offense is going to get Braden back
Mm-hmm.
for this game. What is that going to add to the offense? What kind of a player have you seen of him at practice this year as he's kind of sat out?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't just he's done a lot of stuff with the scout team and been really selfless doing that because he hasn't been able to play. So haven't seen him that much this year, but obviously last year, and then he's been back the past week, and he's a great player, and he's going to bring another dynamic to our offense. Just his athleticism and his size, he can block too, so he can just do it all. And obviously we have good tight ends anyways, but he'll bring another dynamic to us being able to throw the ball downfield, I think.
Have you noticed maybe an extra bit of bounce, excitement in his step because he is
Yeah.
back and able to play?
For sure. I mean, I've thought about him a lot, just what he's had to go through. It's definitely been tough for him, and situation that would be tough for anyone. So seeing how he's handled it, and it's cool having him back, and he's a little bit more excited to be practicing because he gets to contribute and help out.
During the season, did you just kind of keep his spirits up when you could and tell him to hang in there?
Yeah, we talk all the time, obviously, but whenever I'd see him, especially the past month or so, I'd be telling him, hey, we only got a couple more games in your back. Just keep reminding him that he's almost back to where he can play. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to ever discredit anything that anyone else has done. I think everyone up there was a great player and deserved it, but I think it's just how the story's been written, and it kind of works perfect for us. I mean, we're happy where we're at. It would have been great to have some guys there, obviously, just for for them and for our program, but we're happy where we're at, and we're just glad to get the chance to prove ourselves.
How would you describe how that story's been written?
Yeah, just all year kind of been taking the back seat, I think, a little bit, which is it's whatever. I mean, I think that's just how the season's gone, but I don't think we've it's been worked out perfect though. We've been in the back seat, under the radar, and this is the time now we get to actually prove ourselves.
Would you have ever thought when you walked off that field against Alabama last year that's
Or one second, yeah.
We're on the same team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm saying
Why do you think that story was written that way?
yeah.
Having a 15-0 team that's now won 20, 4, 5, 8 straight, be in the back seat.
I think it's just every year people want something new, and last year we were the new team. Alabama won the year before, and we were kind of up and coming, and we knocked Alabama off, and everyone loved us. And after that, it's like, okay, who's going to win next year? And they want something new, and I think that's just how it is. And then we have a close game, and everyone thinks that we're not any good, and that's just the way it was all year, and which is fine. We got the opportunity we wanted, so right where we want to be. But I think that those are two of the things that happened.
It was obvious that Coach Sweeney was pretty quiet about that narrative until after South Carolina.
Yeah.
Then he exploded. Right? In what ways does he use that narrative in private with you guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about it a lot. Just kind of the things that are, how people kind of contradict themselves. They'll say one thing one week, and then a month later they'll change their mind and say something else. And it's just, it's just funny how that happens all the time. And we talk about it all the time, and we use that as fuel. And he's really good about, he kept it quiet, and then but at some point, this is his team. He wants to defend us, so I respect what he did. Yep.
Does that kind of help you keep things in perspective too? Like when you're getting critiqued for one bad game, that
Yeah.
it's like people are going to say stuff regardless.
Yeah, I mean, people just don't know. And with football, every week's different, every game's different. You just, nothing's set, and that's what I think people say things that are, that are going to happen, that should happen, and then something else happens, and they try to go back and, change what they said. And it's just football. I mean, any given day, anyone can beat anybody. So I think it's just keeping that in mind, and then obviously, like you said, just realizing that there are a lot of people that do know what they're talking about, but there's way more that don't know what they're talking about. So kind of understanding that.
Did you watch the Heisman show?
I did. I watched not everything leading up to it, but the end when they announced it. I watched that.
Did you
So
project yourself at all there and onto that stage?
Not really.
What would it be like?
Not really. I just kind of watched and enjoyed, and I always like to see what people say when they get up there. And congrats to Joe. Obviously, he's had an unbelievable year. What he's done has been crazy. Being able to watch that has been cool, and obviously he's a great player and deserves it.
Do you know Joe or Jalen very well?
I don't know Joe super well. I met him out at the Manning camp. We talked a little bit, but I know Jalen a little bit better. I've talked to him a few times out in California at something this summer, than one other time. But and he was friends with my tight end in high school goes to Alabama, so they were friends when he was there. But I know him. I know Jalen a little bit better.
I mean, I don't. I'm sure somebody would argue this, but I would say the four best quarterbacks in college football are probably in the playoff. Do you think it's I don't know, is it a cool thing to have that level of quarterback play all kind of vying for a national championship now?
Yeah, I mean, I think now it's just all these teams have great quarterbacks, great players, but just shows how important it is to have a quarterback that can manage the game, run the system, and do it well. And all those guys do that. So it's definitely going to be 2 fun games here in the end of December.
Any good Justin Fields stories? Well, I don't know if you can ask this. Do you have a relationship with Justin Fields?
Yeah. Thought you were serious. I was like, again.
Is there anything that stands out from you to him, like any moments that you guys had together?
I think just because I remember seeing him at some camps when we were younger, and I remembered his face, didn't really know him well at all. And then out of nowhere, he just, shot up, like gained a bunch of weight. Was just this great player that I didn't really never saw him play or anything. So then his junior year, he kind of blew up, and it's been cool, like I said before, to see him work, and I feel like he's really earned everything that he's gotten.
When you worked out that you guys ever talked about, I'm the recruiter. No, I'm the.
No, we never talked about that.
He was saying earlier that he's seen his catch on the sidelines at the ACC title game dozens of times now since. Has he made a better catch than that you've seen? Maybe something in practice, maybe.
He does stuff like that a lot, to be honest. I mean, some of that stuff it looks crazy, but I've seen him do a handful of times. But that's the best catch I've seen him make in a game. But I don't know actually. That one against Texas A&M over the middle, we kind of reached back. That's close. But those two are probably the best I've seen him do in a game.
He made a catch in Louisville that they reviewed and they still called it out.
Oh yeah, that was a touchdown too. But but no, like I said, he does stuff like that all the time. You kind of get as a quarterback, get used to it. But then you think about it's crazy that he can do that.
Do you intentionally throw it 6 feet out of bounds?
I try to throw it a little bit out of bounds so the defender couldn't have a chance, but not quite that much.
Trevor, what kind of teammate is what's he like? Off the field or in the locker room?
He's a great teammate. I've never heard him, ever complain about. Even before last year, early this year, whatever it may be, when he wasn't getting a lot of catches at some point. I'm sure there's been points where he hasn't got a ton of catches, and I've never heard him complain, and just always been selfless. And you see that when he plays. His downfield blocking. Well, Travis will have the ball, and he'll be blocking 30 yards downfield for like 5 seconds until Travis catches up. So just little things like that shows the kind of player he is and how he feels about the team.
Yeah, there's a persona of wide receivers, the meat
Yeah.
position of the football field. You don't see any of that in T.
No, all of our guys are like that too. They're really selfless, and they want to do things the right way, and they want to help the team even when they don't have the ball. So that's like the big thing that Coach Sweeney says: impact the game when you don't have the ball in your hands, and they do that well.
For you though, not have to deal with that kind of thing. It's probably good for a quarterback to have guys like that.
Yeah, it's nice because I don't got to worry about this guy hasn't got a catch or whatever, and trying to spread the ball around. I can just find who's open and get it to him, and they do a really good job of supporting one another and being unselfish.
Trevor, sorry if you've already been asked this, but is there any motivation there for you that the other 3 quarterbacks in this playoff were the 3 quarterbacks on the All-American teams?
I didn't even know that, to be honest. But not really. All the awards and stuff, I don't use that too much as motivation. I feel, I'm confident in who I am and what I can do, and really just thankful to have the opportunity to prove it with this team. It's a special team, and just excited to get 2 more games, hopefully, to prove that.
I know that obviously so much more goes into it than just the quarterbacks, but is it kind of cool to be part of a Final Four of the 4 elite quarterbacks in the nation?
Yeah, it's awesome. We were just talking about how, I think it just shows, how the other guys have led this season and how they've played. Obviously, it speaks for themselves, but it's really cool to be a part of that.
and your connection with Justin, obviously, did you kind of see this coming to fruition so quickly, growing up and being 1-2 in the state of Georgia and nationally, and then here you guys are just a few years later on the big stage?
Yeah, I mean, I saw whenever he went to Ohio State, obviously Ohio State's good every year, and I knew that kind of once he went there, and they would be really good this year. I didn't know how good. Obviously, I hadn't seen them, but they've been awesome. So it'll be cool to have that matchup.
Last week, my mom guessed about how you sit out next.
Not really. I'm not going to sit out. I mean, that's just all. I mean, that's all I can say. It's keep it simple.
That's what people said after the national championship game, right?
Yeah.
Sit out the rest of your career.
And it's the same. People that said I should sit out are telling me how bad I am the next, first couple games. So it's, that's what I said. It's the same thing. It's just how things get twisted and turned. So I just don't pay any attention to it.
So you will not be sitting out next year?
No.
Is Chase Young the type of guy that you immediately break the huddle, you step to the line, and you're immediately screaming to try and find out where he's at because they move him all over the place?
I think, to answer your question, yes, that is something that, you got to be aware of. A great player like him, just his presence obviously has a huge impact on the game, but, we're not gonna change anything we do. We're gonna do what we do. It's been successful, and, we've played good players every week. Maybe not quite as good as him because he's a great player, but we're not gonna change our whole offense to try to contain him. I think we have really good players too, so we're just gonna do what we do, and obviously have to keep him in mind because of how good he is.